So your boundaries went out the window the second you broke mine, and I already have stated that you do not get the privilege to do everything that you have collectively done and then try to plead a bargain. Because you'll have overstepped over every single line, and you continue to try to reflect the no you back to me. And I already deal with a stalker today, okay? We have already documented a stalker, throwing every single bit of smear and misinformation with no evidence whatsoever, just in order to legitimize everything possible. So because you think that you're somehow so righteous that you get to lecture me, you're going to be held accountable for that. The Choco who blocked me and trying to victimize themselves once again, you said after coming into my inbox and playing the victim, instead of pressing a single button before you're entitled beyond a reason. You prove it to me, great grammar, that you can take accountability, of course, not immediately begging on my knees or abiding and subscribing to your bullshit is, quote unquote, not taking accountability. Because clearly my life is up to your revision when I already made clear it's not. Again, y'all cannot take a single micrometer of what you dish out. But let's continue. I guess prove again, prove almost every claim. Earlier you written once again gaslighting and then laying antis on some of the people I even anti support. Yes, clearly your anecdote that you quote unquote don't support it. For 5 seconds every twice signaling clearly supersedes what we have lived and seen for the past months. Clearly. You're acting like a toddler. Goo goo gaga! For no good reason. Yes, of course, you get to tell us what is or isn't a good reason. Obviously, you, from your existence processing and from the outside, you get to tell me what is or isn't a good reason for me to react to people. Again, you are so comfortable with appropriating things, and the language you use conveys it so perfectly every time. It's amazing, the absolute lack of introspection that you have collectively managed to garner, but it's, again, I think it's a virus in your community. Like personalities at this point because you can take responsibility of your own actions and blame it on this. Yeah, sure. Every single thing that I have documented, okay, and I have documented the response to, clearly, all of that gets resolved with the no you card that you keep pulling. You didn't toast as yourself. What is the problem? Again, gaslighting. Also a question that all of you fail to ask yourselves every time because I have already told you that every single bit of shit that you have flung and every single action you have taken is not up for revision. It's all documented. It's that simple. You're not the judges, you're the ones being judged, including the stalker that I already documented. You're just as wrong as wrong at drama. You believe you're the victim of every, because I am. Again, I am. The reality doesn't need to be comfortable for you. It doesn't. Single criticism, because apparently criticism like a poison to yourself. I forgot criticism was adding more rape imagery and starting ghost ships, starting misinformation, starting smears, and every single other thing under the sun. Clearly that's criticism. Again, why do you all continue pulling bullshit that none of you can handle when it's done back your way? Like, you don't realize how infirm it looks. Continue. Also, again, none of you, after every single thing documented, are equipped to even remotely perceive criticizing me. You're just not. It's out of the cards for you. I don't intend this to be a drama, clearly. That's why you clearly blocked me like you should have, and no, you had to come into my inbox. I actually thought after you popped up into my inbox, with no regard for what was being said on the bio or anything else, that I was somehow going to counter myself for you, because you're that entitled. Right. I didn't introduce somebody address how I don't want you near me. Then fuck off. Again, I don't give a fuck about that. You block me, you fuck off. This should have been your modus operandi. I already said and I made very clear that I had no business and I have no desire to contact you in any way, shape, or form. I was following every single person that had liked my posts, and your blog appeared. If you think out of every single person I told to, and out of every experience I have had, out of everything that I have been doing, I make myself pause and be like, oh wait, this is this person? You're even more entitled than I already told you were. Like, you actually think you take precedence over everything else. That's how authoritarian your group is, and it's always been. That's why it's impossible for all of you to understand the word accountability, because you cannot take criticism, you cannot take accountability, and every single time that people hold you accountable, you deflect. And this is slowly and obviously, going passating an eye and the nerve to start to material you for your bullshit. You have the nerve to try to revise the things I documented, and you start bullshit with me because you failed to press a button. Also, unlike the procedures that you guys complain about, I actually do consider DNIs valid. So that's already an extra step of grace that none of you deserved. So even by that metric, you already got extended far more courtesy than you were owed. Next. Also, there isn't the way you communicate it, in the way you talk shit, and the way you speak. Because you could have simply said, hey, you kind of broke my DNI here, and you follow me, and I would have just be, okay, sorry, and block you. But because you think that you get to just speak up and talk a certain way to me after everything that has been happening, that I was magically going to center myself around you, just so you could feel strong and superior and more realistic and whatever, then that was the response. Again, you'll keep playing with fucking fire and then complaining you get burned. You're throwing everything under the bus to boost an ego. This has nothing to do with ego. Once again, it's called dignity and it's called identity. If you think that has anything to do with ego, I think the call comes from within. Am I the one trying to revise your experiences? Have I been telling you didn't went through this or that? I haven't. So why do you all feel so comfortable doing it to people? Based on your pathetic. Pathetic means that your actions don't have consequences. Are you stupid? Like, genuinely, I think you're compensating way too hard here. Do you realize that in all of these videos that I have documented, I can literally spot your guilt trips, that your own fucking guilt trips are documented in the middle of the situation. Like, you're limping so much with this. The only ones who believe that there are bad consequences are all of you. You don't like that you don't get to do and say whatever you want. I'm not a prop for your bullshit. If you cannot respect and understand that, that's your problem. Which is obviously showing your counter-arguments by reflecting the lemon to me. Oh, wow, you made an argument. There was a counter-argument with logic and corrections. Goodness gracious, no, please, not the internet. Let me to me, put it on the bad lie. Look, I think you're the one who spoke about victimization and now you're victimizing yourself. Put me in a bad light when you know we are both in the wrong. Right, of course. So if it's you throwing an accusation at me, then I'm exclusively in the wrong. But if it's myself correcting it and pointing it at all the facts, then it's silently, well, actually, we are both in the wrong. Like, it is not being disingenuous, something your community is just allergic to. I don't know why I asked. You think yes because you have a large following doesn't excuse you think yes because you have a large following doesn't excuse you for being a genuine dollar. Goo gaga and creep. Yeah, I'm so creepy for responding for your bullshit. Wow. I mean, the creeps are the ones who quite literally made more rape imagery in my direction, who tried to call someone a pedophile without evidence, who tried to start smear blogs in my name that rightfully got terminated, who just continue crossing every single line possible and then complain when they were held accountable. You even go as far as saying, I contributed to these campaigns when I don't even know these campaigns. That's your problem? If you don't remember your contributions, that's for you to do research on the videos. Again, I don't need to hold your hand for this shit. You cannot deny something without even doing the research. Also, you did involve yourself into the whole Caleb situation. I have screenshots of the comments from the past blogs. Particularly in the Anti-Ship Hunter blog, which is literally the first I interacted with in that situation. You also misgender Danny as well for some reason, but irrelevant. I rarely interacted with Caleb Sadler when it was since July. I've been focused on art, fanfic, and school, not whatever BS you're up to. Yeah, sure, clearly. Clearly your art and fanfics and school or whatever are clearly going to be more important than all of this situation. Anyway, The only BS is yours, right? And by BS in this situation is documenting an entire cult in your community, calling out predators from both sides, and then having to call out trolls like my past stalker that I got terminated for pulling the shit they tried to pull. Y'all were so fucking perverse and perverted that y'all forced me to send stropes because you couldn't respect a single fucking line. Leave me the fuck alone. And what do you do? You know, the ones who always say, romanticization, fiction affects reality. So you make an edit with Mirmo and related to Christianity in my direction. And if that wasn't shameless enough, you thought I was going to perceive any of you as humans after that. Sure. Yeah, I actually saw that for hit avoiding. Now I recall the she put me through. Welcome to reality, where people just don't remember who the fuck you are until they talk to you again. I didn't even remember you. That's the funniest. That's why it's hilarious you complain about the follow when, again, I didn't even remember who you were. So that's a double whammy on your end. All the quote-unquote shit I put you through. Yes, blocking you when you didn't respect boundaries on the first situation, seeing you start ghosts and documenting them, and then seeing you continue your bullshit and then on the title when you're contacted. So 3 interactions as opposed to hundreds of thousands of creatures of what I had to be put through in this situation. Right, clearly. Let's approach it forward that you had to lie pretty well. Unlike me for stuff. You really hate Project Flow. You're embarrassing yourself. Yeah, sure. I'm embarrassing myself for being truthful and for speaking up against every single documented lie that all of you are so comfortable doing. You're making yourself look insane. The mentally ill person is looking insane after so many stressors by so many trolls and so many provocateurs because Choco reacts, so Choco is insane for reacting. Oh my goodness. Pathologizing. I didn't even intend this to be an argument. I was warning my followers which most I'm keep the minor bullshit to yourself, by the way. Oh, you know how dangerous you know how to realize really are. Oh yeah, it's really dangerous responding to bullshit, whether it's started by minors or adults. Your age does not accept you from accountability. You're on the internet, buddy. Fuck me, a 14-year-old is to yell you, you're being shitty and need a wake-up call says a lot about you. Yeah, it shows that your lack of introspection is incredible. It says that you're in an echo chamber where nobody's going to correct you if you're wrong or hold you accountable. And it also says that you cannot interpret reality correctly because all of the situation, all the things that you can interpret at the 5 seconds of the whole interaction thing, in which you immediately absolve yourself and you have no idea about everything else that has been going on. So you interpret 0.01% of everything you'll have done and you interpret it wrong, factually speaking. So, again, that's entirely your problem. You don't blame me for your bullshit. Have a good day. Oh, I will actually. I will have a fantastic day responding to anything any of you say about me. And don't ever try to interact with my blog and my book shows ever again. Psst, hey, supremacists, keep that egoism down. I will do whatever the fuck I please. Because none of you deserve humanity. Remember? Absolutely none of you deserve humanity. You cross all these boundaries with the meanwhile. You cross all these boundaries with the videos that I had to document that all of you did. The entitlement Olympics of any of you thinking you could ever get to tell anyone in my sphere how to react to your bullshit is enough. Okay, enough. You played the ping pong supremacy game long enough. Just like with the whole degenerate word that were silent and none of you even understand the meaning of. Then you like your own post because clearly that's going to make it more convincing. Realize what actually happened here. Because you love misinformation so much. So yeah, you can take your entitlement and you can keep it to yourself. See, even here, the color archives already corrected your misinformation because you assume that this was me. You don't care about the correct information that you provide. A lot of you people don't. So you throw another person, innocent person, under the bus for your false narrative. That's something a lot of you fuckers do, and I had enough of it. So get a fucking grip. Your actions have consequences, no matter how much you try to project your bullshit onto others. And the person who documented Caleb's thing on this is actually someone who knows Caleb a lot better than anyone here. So stop making assumptions and fuck off.